Many moons ago, when I was still pursuing an English degree, I was obligated to submit a couple of poems to my school's literary magazines for a poetry class. Nearly every essay, article, poem, and story I've ever written was wiped off the planet in 2020 when my external hard drive overheated and crashed, and yet somehow, these awful poems survived in some godforsaken folder on my laptop. Now, I'm not going to read the original versions aloud because they're too long and the cringe you'll receive listening to them may induce mild whiplash, so if you'd like to take the time to read them in full, they'll be posted on my Substack newsletter, Write Insight, which you can find in the description under this video. Alright, so here it is. The Fishbowl. Oh boy. By now you've already read probably a little bit of it. There's not much here to show off. It is a bad poem. And it's a bad poem because A, I was a teenager when I wrote it, and B, I wrote it as an assignment for school. So I didn't really put much heart into it. And I took the easy way out. I found a simple metaphor comparing human beings to fish, and the fishbowl is the world we live in. And that is what the poem is about. It doesn't rhyme. It might have some alliteration in there, and it is painfully overwritten in parts and very contrived. I mean, look at this. Here where cold reflections glares icily back. Oh, cold reflection. It should be cold reflections glare. Oh, look at this. And I think this may have been published in a literary magazine back in the day. Oof. And that's a typo? So there's some work to do here. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this thing apart, line by line, and I am going to delete probably 95% of this. I need to keep it short and sweet because this metaphor, this comparison of people to fish is really basic, and it is very unprofound, and this is a very bad poem, and it's not going to ever become a great poem, but I can make it less bad. I think I can. Just by deleting a lot of it, I can make it less bad. So let's take it from the top. The fishbowl. Occasionally I forget how we are all simply fish, wild-eyed hungering for tiny pellets of food, darting here and there. Alright, right off the bat, let's get rid of this. Let's keep the I out of it. It's just better if, and while we're at it, let's get rid of the, even in the title, let's call it Fishbowl. No capital letters, lowercase letters. As basic, as minimal as it can get. Fishbowl. How we are all simply fish. I don't want to make it just say we are all simply fish. It's almost too authoritative for such a, a silly idea. That's just me. If I gave this poem to one of you lovely viewers, you'd probably make something different out of it. Some of you might even like this thing. I don't know why you would like it, but hey. So let's just take it from the top again. Alright, fishbowl. How we are all simply fish. Wild-eyed, hungering for tiny pellets of food. How about just wild-eyed and hungering? Darting here and there. Okay. Mindlessly floating, endlessly drifting. Well, endlessly? Endlessly? No, that doesn't make sense. We are not endlessly drifting. We very much stopped drifting at some point. But we're pretty mindless about it. And we don't float either. We drift through life. We don't float through life. Maybe some people float through life, and those people I envy. I certainly don't. Not to say that I drift through life either, but You know. Okay. Here where cold reflections glare icily back from smooth glass, there among those who chase flaunted tales cower within reeds. Ugh. Bubble flamboyantly, eat shit and silently die upside down. Dignity dissolved and diluted into the same net that scoops us off one by one and flushes us down, 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 swollen, bloated, and drowned. This is terrible. The only thing redeeming about this stanza is this last bit. I'm going to save that. Yeah, I'll save this. That's a great... I think that's a good ending. That sounds like a good ending. I remember the glint, the sparkle of her scale. Ugh. Speckled, spattered slivers which refract, bend, and divide the plain and white into a multifaceted color spectrum, splashing rainbows against her fishbowl. This is just too much. Splashing rainbows against her fishbowl. Maybe I can work with that. Let's get rid of this. Let's put that there. Maybe nothing about our scales. Maybe that's not good. Alright, let's come back to that in a minute. I kind of like this, but I don't know what to do with it yet. Alright, I remember every interlocking scale. Alright, scales again. The jewel-encrusted koi, the fantail, shipwrecked sea bass, Siamese fight. Alright, schools of shimmering minnows. I guess these are all different fish, and it's supposed to represent the different kinds of people in the world. This is just too much. Just way too much. That's hard to read. Boom. Get rid of it all. I see them darting here and there, and I remember once again how we are all simply fish. I don't even think we need to say that. Alright. Let's work on the ending first, and then come back up. How about this? Until one by one we're scooped up and flushed. Down, 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 swollen, bloated, and drowned. I mean, that's a pretty good image. That's the end of life for a fish. And hopefully that's not the end of life for people. But that's an image that can kind of stick with you. And I like the alliteration here. How we are all simply fish, wild-eyed, hungering, darting here and there, mindlessly drifting. Mindlessly drifting where? Mindlessly drifting. Where do we drift these days? Within our private bubbles. Alright, how about this? About light. Maybe we go back to our scales. Bend the light. Refracted. Splashing rainbows against our fishbowl. How we are all simply fish, wild-eyed, hungering, darting here and there, mindlessly drifting within our private bubbles. Our skills bend the light. Refracted. Splashing rainbows against our fishbowl. Until one by one we're scooped up and flushed, down, 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 swollen, bloated, and drowned. Fishbowl. How we are all simply fish, wild-eyed, hungering, darting here and there, mindlessly drifting within our private bubbles. Our scales bend the light, refracted, splashing rainbows against our fishbowl, until one by one we're scooped up and flushed, down, 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 swollen, bloated, and drowned. I think that's it. It can be better, but it could be a lot worse. I think we got rid of a lot of garbage, and what we're left with here is tolerable. It's less bad than it was when I started. That's for sure. If you'd like to support the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as the little bell icon so you know when a new video has been uploaded. Giving the video a like, leaving a comment, and sharing it with your friends is the best way to support my content. You can also consider signing up for my free newsletter on Substack, Right Insight, which features deep dives into the kind of content you see here, plus a whole lot more, delivered straight to your inbox. Check out the link in the description below. Until next time, happy reading, happy writing, and take care of yourselves and one another.